Australia's mining boom saved us through the GFC and we kept our AAA credit rating. But with a $184 billion deficit forecast for next year, new growth is needed to pay down sovereign debt and keep the AAA status.
The AAA rating is not something to be messed around with. That's a massive sovereign risk advantage for Australia, and I would not give that up. But listen, at the end of the day, Australia is a very prosperous country, but it's a relatively small country with a small population. It is dependent upon foreign institutions and foreigners buying a lot of what Australia produces, grows, etc. So I think having a very stable sovereign risk and stable banking system is essential to the economic balance in the country.
But how can we fund the recovery for the long term? Anthony Pratt believes the solution is super, and America is leading the way with super fund lending.
So, for example, we borrow 30-year debt in America at like 4%, locked in, fixed, mortgage-style amortisation, and that's the pension funds that lend, not the banks. Whereas in Australia, so in America, 40% of all pension fund investment is lending to companies like us. In Australia, only 1% of superannuation funds are lent. The rest of it is equity invested.
But we've got so much super here.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be $7 trillion by 2030 in super funds, which is 3 times the size of the Australian economy. So I think it's a great opportunity. From
Wall Street, James Gorman agrees.
I would use the asset pile that Australia has developed over 30 or 40 years. You know, as a stroke of genius, the super funds, it's set the country up with a level of stability that is the envy of most of the world. These are the times when you take advantage of that. I would encourage the super funds to diversify and invest directly in the country, in some of the infrastructure of the country, the business of the country that needs support coming out of this crisis.